Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo, a professional organizer specializing in chronic clutter. And today we're going to talk about 7 simple decluttering tips that I have used to help me declutter faster and stress-free. These tips are especially wonderful if you are just starting out and if you're somebody who feels stressed and overwhelmed just thinking about purging. In theory, we all want our homes to be clean and tidy, but how do we actually make that happen without freaking out? And one of the best ways to get started is tip number 1, and that is simply to toss one item a day. Especially if you're brand new to decluttering, you probably have a lot of clutter. The big picture of all that stuff in itself can make you be like, nope, not going to do it. It's too much. I don't even know where to start. Try starting with just one random item a day. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, Margo, that's not that much. But my question to you is, how much have you gotten rid of so far? Right? What would it look like if you would consistently get rid of one item a day for an entire year? That's 365 items in a year. And that is actually a whole lot. Now, of course, as a decluttering coach, I want to tell you that you don't just have to do one item a day. You could do 2 items, 3 items, 5 items, right? But this is a great way to get over that procrastination hump we all experience when a project seems too huge. So you can simply toss a paperclip or a journal or an old calendar or a beauty product or a bottle of used up, perfume or shampoo or conditioner or makeup or a utensil in your kitchen. One item a day goes a long way. But more importantly than that, it's really about you just kind of getting started and getting on that motivation train. And it's really one item a day, especially if you've felt overwhelmed and stressed about decluttering, is just such an easy way to start. So once you have mastered one item a day, you can move on to something I call the 60-second purge. And now I work with a lot of clients all the time, and especially you busy women. A common thing I hear is, Margo, I don't have time. And my response is always the same. Do you have 60 seconds? Do ya? Do ya? And the answer is yes, you absolutely do. So with that said, the 60-second purge, right? So we're kind of leveling up from the one item a day. The 60-second purge is essentially you grab a bin, a box, or a bag, and you walk around your home collecting items you don't need and don't use off of surfaces. So your media cabinet, your coffee table, your, kitchen counter, bookshelves, your dressers, your nightstands. You are literally swiping things that you absolutely don't need. This is a great quick way. It only takes a minute of your time to get rid of and declutter surface clutter. These should be easy tosses. So you're not thinking about it. You're not pondering its sentimental value. Quick wins, quick swipes, quick get this out of my house strategy. Tip number 3, we are leveling up just a little bit more. And again, self-select what you feel works best for you, right? And where you can start. So tip number 3 is to declutter in 15-minute increments. 15 minutes of focused, uninterrupted decluttering goes a long way. It might not seem like much, but if you have speed and momentum, you can declutter 1 to 2 drawers easily. And I actually love this method of bite-sized decluttering because you see results and it's not incredibly overwhelming. And I encourage you to set a timer. Having an end in sight makes the process a more enjoyable experience. And heck, you might want to go past your 15 minutes. And this is something that I do every other week. I host a free decluttering workshops. It's 30 minutes every other Thursday. And essentially what we do is us women, we get together, we choose a small area of our home to declutter, and I serve as your coach or your body double, and we together declutter one small area of your home in 15 minutes. And it's so supportive and wonderful, and it gets you to finish a project from start to end. Again, it's completely free every other week. I'll leave a link to it in the show notes. So try out 15 minutes of uninterrupted decluttering. Let's move on to tip number 4, and that is to make a to-do list. You probably have heard me say this again and again and again. A beginner decluttering mistake is not having a to-do list, which leads to aimless decluttering. A little here, a little there, a little all over the place. We are not actually finishing what we started, so we are wasting energy and time, but seeing very little progress. This decreases motivation, and sometimes we end up giving up. Motivation is one of those tricky things where unless you see progress, it's very difficult to keep yourself motivated. I always come up with the example of like losing weight, right? If you're trying to lose 20, 30 pounds, right? It might take you 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. But the problem is that the first couple of days, first few weeks, you're not actually seeing progress. And this is why a lot of times we give up prematurely. Decluttering can work the same exact way. If you do not have a to-do list, if you do not have a system in place, we tend to be all over the place. We tend to give into procrastination. We tend to be, give into distraction. Create a little to-do list of what you are decluttering on a weekly basis and how often you're doing this. Are you decluttering every Tuesday and Thursday for 15 minutes between, 9:30 a.m. and 9:45, right? What room of your home are you starting with? Are you starting in your kitchen? Are you working on paperwork clutter? Are you starting with a category such as beauty products? What are you doing? Try to eliminate decision fatigue, procrastination, and the loss of motivation by having a simple one-pager to-do list that should just include when you declutter, for how long, and what. Tip number 5 is to start with the easy stuff first. So you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. If you are new to decluttering or haven't been successful in the past, that's okay. Start with the easy stuff first. An underwear drawer, your nightstand, a shelf in the linen closet. Avoid the sentimental stuff at all costs. Don't take on hours of projects either. It's exhausting. Okay, this isn't sink or swim. Don't take on hours of projects either. It is exhausting. You're better off starting small, so like 15 minutes, because a lot of times clients start working with me, and when we're creating our decluttering plan, which is typically what we do on our first one-on-one session, a lot of my clients will be like, I can declutter, like an hour a day, 5 days a week. And I'm like, can you walk me through your weekly schedule? And as they do, it's like, I got to go to work. I got to take care of the kids. I got to take out the dog. I got to do food shopping. I got a meal plan. I'm like, when in the world are you decluttering several times a week for an hour? It's just not realistic. So you're better off choosing 15 minutes to start. And if you see that you can go longer, that is cool. Bonus points. Then you can increase it to 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever works best for you. But you want to start super small. Baby steps are a great way to flex those decluttering muscles, and we will naturally get better with time. All right, tip number 6 is to get yourself an accountability buddy or an accountability partner. This is one of my favorites because it works so well. Pair up with somebody. Having an accountability partner motivates you. It keeps you in check and on track, especially on those days you just don't want to do it, right? Having an accountability partner will keep you decluttering. Knowing that your girlfriend is going to hit you up and be like, girl, send me a pic of what you decluttered, or with a text that just says progress, ? Forces you to produce results. You don't want to be like, oh, shoots, I did nothing. More than that, having support and motivation is a wonderful thing that keeps us on track. Accountability partners can be friends, family members, or it can even be a decluttering coach like me. If you're interested, if you want to learn more on how we can work together, every single one of my clients achieves results within 30 days. I will leave a link for more information in the show notes. So if it's not a coach, ask your friends, right? Offer them your friends dinner, drinks, a cake, whatever. Finding a friend who also wants to declutter so you guys can actually be each other's accountability partners is even better. But get somebody to support you and to keep you accountable and who's checking up on you and your progress on a weekly basis. And something to be said, whoever you're going to have as your accountability partner, just make sure that this person is genuinely supportive and wants the best for you. We don't want Debbie Downers. We don't want somebody who's toxic, okay? We want somebody who's motivating, who wants the best, who's happy for you, and all that good stuff. So just, get yourself a good accountability buddy. And then tip number 7, something that very frequently does not happen, but absolutely should. And this is something that I do on a weekly basis with my one-on-one clients. And that is to celebrate your wins. Ladies, we do not celebrate enough stuff. We celebrate everything our kids do and support our partners and friends and loved ones with their big and small accomplishments. Yet we finally declutter the kitchen counter and we're like, what will I make for dinner? That has to stop. Celebrate every step, big or small, that's leading you to the clean and tidy, peaceful home that you desire. Celebrate and reward yourself too. A cup of coffee, nails, 30 minutes of outdoor time, whatever, as long as you can associate decluttering with positive reinforcement. And you deserve to be celebrated for decluttering, for purging, for investing your time and energy into that beautiful home that you deserve and that you will achieve. So I hope that you found this podcast episode helpful. I hope this motivates you to begin or continue decluttering your home. Thank you so much for listening. As always, good luck on your decluttering journey, and remember to be good to yourself.